Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Skies of Arcadia Revisited. I'm Nye, and we have taken the Little Jack with Drachma down to Sailor's Island, where we're just going to go in and hopefully figure out a way to get to Valua. So this is Sailor's Island. Looks a little bit bigger than Pirate Isle, but you'll notice it's still really small. There's only a small handful of buildings. There's not really much here. And yet, they act like it's a gigantic city. I can already tell that this place is lots of fun. She's gonna like it. Which is wonderful, because Drachma's gonna restock his supplies, and he's leaving us here, with no way to get anywhere. We have no ship, and he's gonna strand us here. Ta-ta! He's gotta find a cannon that's powerful enough to destroy Rochnum. He's got no time to waste with kids, so we're gonna have to do our own thing. Bye-bye. That's just great. So we gotta figure out some way to make that old man change his mind. Perhaps if we can dig up some information. Let's go look around the town. It's a good example and a good time for us to... Drachma has left the party. This is a really good time for us to figure out things going on around the town. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go walk over in this general direction to about here. And we're gonna look up, and hey look, it's a Moonfish already. Easy stuff. So that Moonfish got caught, that's already one gone. And then if we go walk over here, we can read this sign where this shows that the following criminals are in direct violation of the anti-piracy laws set forth by Her Royal Highness Empress Theodora. No, the problem is this line got kind of screwed up. It's supposed to be for if Vice ever makes it on that list, and then the first time you look at it, he's on the list. The problem is, if you'll notice, he's not on this list. There's Gilder, the Angel of Death, One-Armed Drachma. Hey, look, Drachma's on this list. He's number 3. Calamity Clara, Centime the Tinkerer, Lone Wolf Lawrence, Gordo the Round, and Domingo the Explorer. Vice is nowhere on that list. But this man Lawrence is. Hi, Lawrence. So if we walk into this room, this is the Sailors Guild. And if we talk to this man, this is the Guild Master. He does a lot of things for us. So if we make any discoveries, blah, 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 we can actually sell discovery information to him, and he'll give us about 120 rich for selling him the information about the Pirate's Grave. So that's what we can do here. You can also buy info. So if there's what he'll do is he'll tell you hints about where things are if you didn't already know where they are. So for instance, the Pirate's Grave, he would tell you that it stands on it would have some sort of, see how this says it's an ancient guidepost? It would give you some sort of hint. It stands on a small island north of the Moonstone Waterfall in Blue Grove territory to give you some idea of where it is. So if you don't know where they are, you can use that. We can also look at the wanted list, where we currently know that Baltor the Blackbearded is wanted. He's some sort of black pirate with powerful cannons on his ship, and if we take him down, we'll get 1,000 rich. Useful to know. That's what all this guy's useful for, though. For some reason, he opens, closes his book, and then stands away. Hi, person. But we can't do anything with him yet. Just an old man. So we gotta continue exploring and see what else we can find. So let's do that. This right here is the item shop. I've basically no reason to go in there right now. This is the ship equipment shop. No reason to go in there. We don't have a ship. If you'll notice, we have the sound just now of a Moonfish in the area. But I would rather go into the weapons shop, where we find some tubby little man who I have no interest in, and this big dude who sells weapons and armor. This is a weapons and armor shop. So we're going to go ahead and buy and sell weapons. So how much money do I have? A fair amount. So if you'll notice, we can buy a hook hand, which is for Drachma's arm. Obviously, we're going to be getting him back at some point. There actually is no, there's nothing for Aka here, which is very interesting. You don't always have upgrades for everybody in every given place that you go to. We're going to get that for him. And then we need to go ahead and get there's typically going to be one type of uniform specifically, or one type of armor specifically for Vice and any other main attackers, and there'll be a secondary uniform specifically for Aka and your mage character. It's kind of weird that they do that. Aka can typically wear, like, the uniform-style items, and then she can also wear the mage-type items. I typically give her the uniforms like that. And then here's some accessories. The gemstone ring can give us some magic damage, and the Throckrin's scale can give us attack power. Vice already has hit bonus, and Aka has a quick bonus. I'd rather just leave it on them, because there's those bonuses for those particular accessories are so small as to be basically insignificant, and there'll be better accessories later, so I'm not gonna waste my money on it. I'll have to do upgrades later on anyways. I'd rather save my money for now. So what we will also do... I'm gonna save that. We'll do that later. So instead, we're gonna go into the inn here and walk around. This man is the mystery merchant. He's basically never useful, ever. He's a weird merchant, and he will eventually get more stuff in his inventory, but all he really ever sells are some really bad items, like the Thermo Ring increases resistance against red and purple attacks, and the Slayer Ring gives stat up across the board, but by the time you can really afford to have it on each character, you'll have something better anyways. And then he has what's known as a box. These are items that you can use to cast a spell multiple times. It has a random charge between 7 or 8. In these cases, sometimes it's more, sometimes less. But they have random charges, and eventually they'll break. You get to use them over and over and over, but it doesn't keep track of how many times you use them, so you have no idea where you are. Unfortunately, every item he sells, for the most part, is pretty much completely worthless, and there's no real point. Step onto the balcony here of this inn, and step, is it right here? No. It's over here. Next to this girl. Look up. Hey, look, Moonfish. And that is both Moonfish to be found on Shrine Island. Or, Sailor's Island, rather. Pretty easy. Okay, so now it's time for us to leave. We're gonna go ahead and save, because we did just find 2 Moonfish, which we will hopefully be able to redeem very soon. And let's move on. So we've got to find a way to get something for Drachma that will convince him to take us with him again. Well, I don't know what that is, but I think we should go talk to this guy over here in the ship weapons lab. How's sailing going? This is a ship parts shop specializing in big guns and stuff, but actually, I just ran out of stock, so I'm waiting for the next shipment to arrive, so I'm a little bored right now. Conveniently, this happened when you don't have a ship. Why don't you stay and talk for a while? I don't have anything better to do, and I might have some information that might interest a person like you who has no ship but needs to find something to convince some guy to give you one. So let's listen to what merchant has to say. So, what's this information that you have? Well, I'm glad that you asked, big guy. It's something I heard from a sailor on his way back from Valua. A fellow ship interest and, person like you. Someone who has interest in ships, whatever the name for that. A fellow sailor like you might be interested to know that the ship parts merchant in Valua has started selling a cannon they call the harpoon cannon. It's some sort of gigantic spear-like weapon that they mount on the front of your ship, and it's connected by a rope or something like that. And from what I hear, because there's a rope attached, you can just reel that spear-like thing back to your ship. Saves money on ammo. And why is this important to me? Oh, it apparently packs a real punch. With a weapon like that, even a small ship can probably hold its own against larger ships. A harpoon cannon. We might be able to use this information to try to convince Captain Drachma to take us to Valua. Well, that was really convenient, and I am so glad that we knew to do that instead of running around Shrine Island forever trying to figure out what the hell to do to talk to Captain Drachma. So instead, we will immediately go into the tavern here where Drachma is. We'll look around. There's not really anything to do here. Some pictures of some ships on the background. We got a girl here. Hi, Anne. This is Polly's place. There's some specialties. And there's some special loqua. And she's Polly's daughter. That's good to know. Wonderful. You have really big lips. Hi, person. That's a female sailor. She has no name, so we don't care. Hey, Drachma, we got a bone to pick with you. It's time for a cutscene. So, Captain Drachma. Now, I really want you to real quick look in the background there, at that picture in the background. If I'm correct, that's actually a, it's really hard to see, it's not really in high resolution, but I believe that's a hint to a boss we'll fight much, much later in the game. Will you stop calling me that? You don't sail with me anymore, therefore I'm no longer your captain. Now, that's just too bad. Because we heard about a cannon that may be able to help take out Drachma, but since you're no longer sailing with us, I suppose that information would not be of particular interest to you. Oh, really? You don't say. Okay, so here's the thing. This one's kind of tricky, and if I remember correctly, a true swashbuckler wouldn't just come out and say something. He would try to bargain first to make sure he got what he wanted first. So let's beat around the bush. I was amazed when I saw Drachma. I've never seen an arc whale that big before. I used to think that he was indestructible. Until I knew that there was a cannon that could destroy him. But, you're not sailing with us anymore, so I guess it doesn't really matter much. Gee, Aka, I'd do anything for a ride to Valua. I wonder who can get us here. Anybody want to lend us a hand? And Drachma's kind of pissed that we're trying to bargain with him. Since you put it so eloquently, if we're going to give you information that will help you, we expect you to help us. So yes, we are trying to bargain with you. That's exactly what we're trying to do. And Polly actually tries to help us out, saying that she does remember some information like that. Apparently Valuan soldiers pass through here every once in a while, and say it's a weapon capable of destroying a small island. Not that we'll ever get a chance to do that. Drachma, why would she lie to you? What reason would she have for that? When has she ever lied to you, except for that one time when she did? Drachma has to think about it for a second. And besides, she can tell those kids aren't lying by the looks in their eyes. Once again, this whole eye thing comes to the fore. Because that actually works. She's been running this tavern for 20 years. Apparently she can know people. She can spot cheats and liars, and these children aren't old enough to have gotten those habits. Yeah, okay. Not gonna get our hopes up, but he'll take us to Valua. Amazing! They convinced him. They're gonna have to work the entire way, but he'll take us there. Wonderful! It is time for a handshake. Yeah! It even has sound effects. Thanks, Polly. Thanks for helping us. Thanks for helping us convince the captain. And when we're done with our adventure, come back and tell a story. Some people need some stories. You guys should go get your own stories. I'm keeping mine. Gotta keep them away for a rainy day. But apparently Valua isn't known for their hospitality. They'll shoot first and ask questions never. And we're also gonna need an entry passport. Unfortunately, he doesn't have one, but he's sure someone has one to give to us. That sounds like a pirate thing. Let's hijack a passport. I wonder where we could find one. Drachma has joined our party. Well, real quick, before we do anything else, let's make sure that Drachma is equipped with that new hand we just got for him. His artificial arm is going to be replaced with the hook hand. If you'll notice Drachma's stats, he's a real good attacker. 149 attack. I believe that's currently even higher than attacks based on power. Notice that he has 91 power and Vice only has 49. Vice has 94 attacks. So Drachma is more powerful than Vice. Also notice that Vice is now Vice the Blue Rogue, so we have gone up a couple of ranks on the Swashbuckler ranking system. Okay, so Drachma's no longer there. Wonderful. I don't really want to equip Drachma with anything else, so let's go directly in here to the Sailors Guild. We're going to talk to some guy who's apparently humming, instead of running around the island for a couple minutes and trying to figure out who to talk to, because, believe me, that's what you have to do the first time to figure out how to progress here. So let's talk to the Nasser merchant here, who's kind of curious what to do. Actually, let's talk to this guy first. Right, gotta do things in order. Gotta talk to the Sailors, Sailors Guild. He's gonna give us some information. If we have any questions about sailing, we're in the right place. Wonderful! How can we get a fluent passport quickly? Might be a little difficult. After initial application, there's an intensive background check, and that can take up to a full lunar cycle, meaning a month. And somehow, I don't think the 2 blue rogues are going to pass the background check. Can't just sit here for a lunar cycle. Can't we make a fake passport? Oh, that's not what you want to tell someone. No! Anybody's caught making and carrying a fake passport, they're executed on the spot. So all we have to do is not get caught, huh? Yeah, Aka, you're just not making a case for yourself, girl. That's not how it works. And the Guildmaster should report us immediately for this, right? Like, that's the type of thing that you would do. Though they can trace back to him, he'd be a dead man. So nope, he's not going to help us. You call yourself a Guildmaster? You're just a Faluan puppet. But this guy back here with the silly hat, he decides he's going to help us. Looking for a Valuan passport? He was in Valua on business. Now he's on his way home, doesn't need that one anymore. Apparently, passports are transferable. He just wants us to help him with something, and what would that be? What do you want us to help you with? He's a merchant from the Kingdom of Nasser. It's located on a desert island to the east of here. There are deserted islands, apparently. He has heard rumors the Black Pirate Baltor has been seen in the skies near there. Yeah, we've seen that too. It was in the bounties. Apparently even Drachma's heard of him. He's ruthless and attacks unarmed ship and steals their cargo. Which, that would make him a black pirate. But we've seen, he wants us to escort him back to Nasser. If we can get him there safely, then he'll give us the passport, which means he thinks our ship has guns on it. Does our ship have guns on it? I don't know. That would be an even trade, sure. We will definitely accept your offer. I don't know why that was a swashbuckler choice. I really don't. But we'll accept her offer. Maybe it thinks we're going to assume there's something better out there. But, yeah, we're wise beyond our years. We'll protect him. And even Drachma's like, well, I guess we can't do any better. So he's going to wait for us on the docks. And we'll meet him there immediately. And the Guildmaster, who just heard our plan, which has to be illegal somehow, because I'm sure those things are non-transferable. He's like, yeah, you should check the wanted list. There's most wanted black pirates bounties on there. The pirate we're talking about is on that list. Even though I just heard you asking me to falsify a passport, which would get me killed, I'm going to help you. Defeat any of those swine, and you'll receive a bounty. So if we defeat Baltor, get back to the guild, we'll be paid. And new bounties get added to the wanted list every so often. So check back to us. This is a tutorial. Well, we're done. There's really nothing else that we need to do on this island, so we're going to go ahead and pop out this door and return to our ship. Our ship. Remember, ours. Not Drachma's, ours. That's how that works. So we're good, right? That's wonderful. So we're here, and so we're going to be given a little bit of information about exactly how to get to Nasser. It's going to swing around. Hey, look, there's us. And there's the Nasser merchant ship. And if we follow the stone reef straight ahead, the desert land is just beyond that reef, so we're going to have to go around. Normal ships cannot pass through that reef, so we must fly alongside of it, just go straight for a while. And eventually we will see the southern Denel Strait, which is a valley-like area in between two islands. Just fly alongside the reef and head straight east. Wonderful. So that's really easy, right? But I don't want to do that. Now, you'll actually see the bow of the ship behind us, like, immediately in my rearview mirror. It's kind of a cool thing. Let's go talk to Doc real quick, because I have 2 Moonfish to hand to him. And Doc's rewards for handing him Moonfish are actually leveled rewards. They're based on when you would have had that many fish, so you definitely want to return them as quickly as you possibly can. So we're going to feed the bird a Moonfish. That's what you want to decide. Basically, every time you come in here, there's no reason to keep Moonfish. Hand them over as soon as you can. If that means backtracking, so be it. So it grows a little bit, and then it's going to barf up a hairball. I'm not joking. Coughed up something, and inside the hairball... Yeah, Doc's response is, in return for handing me a Moonfish, you can keep whatever it throws up. So we got ourselves a Riselem Crystal, which is something that will immediately revive an ally to full health after death. It's sometimes useful in boss fights. I hope I'm not going to have to use it that much. But remember, it has no use outside of battle, because allies are not dead outside of battle. It's getting big. Really? I haven't really noticed. But actually, its avatar does get bigger. Barfs up another one. And inside a hairball, this exact cutscene is going to happen every single time we return one of these things. So we got the Warrior's Rune. And occasionally, after we finish our little cutscene there, Maria will do something. The bird's getting big, and it's all thanks to Vice. He only gave you 2 things, but... She spoke! Wow, even Doc's like the hell. Yeah, Doc's just all kind of surprised. This will happen when you hit certain milestones of growth. She actually spoke. I gave you 2 whole fish, which I found just by stepping off your boat onto Sailor's Island. So now we get a little bit of a cutscene. So this is not his kid. She lost her family a couple years back, and Doc kind of starts reminiscing about stuff, so it's time for another cutscene. It's been a while since we've had some action, huh? That is a really small kid. And look at it, she's in pink now. And Doc is much more clean-shaven with cleaner hair. Apparently he was a Valuan soldier at some point and worked for Mendoza, who was a former admiral of the Valuan Armada, and he was a doctor on his flagship. Maria is his daughter, and she's tiny. Daughter of a Valuan admiral. Here's the reminiscent music. When she was still very young, she lost her father and the rest of her family in a horrible accident. It was a horrifying experience for such a little kid to go through, and since then she just hasn't shown a hint of emotion or spoken a single word. Until today. And I don't blame her either. That poor kid had to watch her family's ship, with all of her family still on board, sink below the clouds. And even though she couldn't have been more than like 4, she recognized how important this was. Doc's kind of depressed. So Doc took her under his wing, because he somehow made it off the ship himself, and retired from the military, and that's when he became a free ship doctor. And that's why it's sort of his responsibility to make sure Maria is happy, and his responsibility and his punishment. Uh-huh, that's punishment. And she rings that bell to summon him. He's basically Pavlov's dog. His heart nearly breaks every time he hears that bell. Please, Vice. Please find more Moonfish. Okay, we'll get more Moonfish so we can get more rewards. That little bird, for whatever reason, seems to be getting through to Maria. She seems to be coming out of her shell at last. It's all thanks to you, Vice. Someday she might actually smile again, but you can't get your hopes up. But he's gonna bet on Vice. Something tells him that if anyone can help Maria, it's Vice. That's a heavy responsibility to put on Vice's shoulders. But he's accepting it like a protagonist. But more important for us is the fact that we were able to get ourselves we are now Vice the Competent, but we were able to get ourselves a new piece of equipment, the Warrior's Rune, which increases our attack by another 10 points, our defense goes up by another 10 points, our hit goes up by another 20, actually, because we lose 5 by taking out the Sky Series goggles, and our dodge goes up by 10. It's a really powerful item, and we got it basically right off the bat by knowing exactly where to look. So that's that. Now, we're going to go ahead and zoom up north a little bit, and if we go too far north, you'll notice the sky darkens, and we get into a fight. So we got a new enemy type, a Thorgrim. If you'll remember that when we went into the armor and weapon shop, that we found a Thorgrim scale there available for sale. It can actually drop off these guys. These guys can also do a lot of damage. Just keep that in mind. That's about it for these guys. They're a pretty easy enemy to fight. They go down like a sack of bricks pretty quickly. We need to make sure that Drachma is on purple, so we can start getting a couple of the purple skills. Again, not that I particularly care. They're not useful. It's very unlikely that I will use a purple skill in this game. But, you know, that's there. As I said, Drachma has a lot of strength behind him. I know a lot of people use Drachma a lot and tend to feed him. They tend to feed him moonberries because he has a ability to become very powerful. He also starts a lot of levels ahead of our heroes. There's that too. So if we go too far north, the sky will darken, and there will be a quick little cutscene, which I'll show you right now. So the Vulcan patrol ship will say that we need to show them an entry passport. We don't have a passport, and he will not allow us to come out, and tells us to crawl back to the pit we came out of. That's not very nice. But I came this far north because I wanted to go to this island right here. Because if we go up to this island, if we press the A button, all of a sudden we'll found the Guidestones, which will tell us that to the north is the Imperial City of Valua, where there's low visibility, to the east the City of Sand, where there's strong currents, and to the west is Sailor's Island, where there's too much Loqua. Apparently, this particular set of Guidestones got lost to time, even though it knows exactly where the Sailor's Island is. Someone has been drinking too much Loqua and not been paying attention to exactly where their Guidestones and maps have been. If you'll notice that because we now have Drachma, we now have an increased amount of spirit points, both of our maximum and the maximum amount we gain each turn. So I believe we have about 12 maximum, and I believe we're getting 4 per turn or something like that. That means that every 2 turns, Eika can use her AoE ability, which is going to be pretty powerful. It's going to be a great way to wipe out enemies. You're going to see me use that just about every 2 turns. Very powerful thing. Gather Strength is an ability that those Thorgrim will use, and I think it increases their critical hit chance, their damage. I'm not sure which, but it's something you want to stop just as soon as you possibly can. So let's go ahead and Lambda Burst. And of course those Scorpions can silence on contact, which isn't really all that important. Weiss has a new weapon. It's a really weird sword type, too. And Drachma's using hook hands to get his normal hand. We never got to see him in combat with his normal hand. And here's Lambda Burst. It's kind of too late anyways, but it's an AoE attack. Hits everybody on screen. And it's going to take out 2 enemies, probably. Fairly powerful. Unfortunately, did not take out the Scorpion there, so we're going to have to take that one out manually, but no big deal. So let's do that right now. And down it goes. Easy combat. And about that's probably the last of the combat I'm actually going to show for the duration of our time spent in the mid-ocean. Or, well, the last I'm going to actually talk over. We just gained Crystalli, which is the first purple ability we're going to get. We got our Thorgrim scale. As I said, there's no point buying it. And we got a Moonberry. And because I have it, I guess we'll use that on Drachma. We will go to his super moves. Notice that he only has 3, as opposed to the usual 5. And we will have him learn Tackle, which is a very, very powerful ability, especially at this point in the game. And now we're going to go ahead and continue going south, and we will find ourselves the wall, and then we'll start going east from here. And at about this point, I'm going to cut off the episode, because I do want to spend the next episode entirely on what comes next. So I'm going to see you guys later. We did find 2 Moonfish, so don't forget that. And we also, you know what we didn't do? Let me do this real quick. We'll do that when we get back to Sailor's Island. Okay, but that's going to be about it, guys. So when we get back, we're going to be going to finish off this little escort quest, and then we're going back to Sailor's Island, because I did forget 2 treasure chests there that I definitely want to make sure I go get. So I will see you guys next time. Ta-ta.